I want to tell you a story about a boy and a wall. It might sound like a simple children's tale, but it's not. It's a story about a secret to building a life of quiet strength. And by the end of it, you will know exactly what your wall is and what you need to do about it. There was once a boy who lived in a small house on the edge of a great, wide field. At the very far end of this field, so far it almost touched the trees of the forest, there was a wall. It wasn't a grand castle wall or a new, clean wall. It was an old stone wall, built by someone for some reason long since forgotten. It was weathered. Moss grew in its crevices. In some places, the stones had tumbled down into small, scattered piles. Every day, after his chores and his lessons were done, the boy would walk to the wall. He didn't know why he felt so drawn to it. It was just a wall. But to him, it was a question. It was a silent challenge. He would stand there, his small hand flat against the cool, rough stone, and he would look up, and he would wonder. One afternoon, without any real plan, he found a loose stone on the ground. About the size of his fist, it decayed it up. He walked a few paces back from the wall, took aim, and threw it. The stone arced through the air and landed with a soft thud in the grass on the other side. It was a small, quiet triumph. He had sent something over the wall. And so, it became his ritual. Every single day, he would find one stone. Just one. And he would throw it over. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The seasons changed. There were days when the sun was warm on his back, and the axe felt light and easy. But there were more days when it felt pointless on a cold, gray afternoon, with a bitter wind whipping across the field. He stood there, stone in hand, and a thought, clear and sharp, entered his mind. Why are you doing this? He looked at the wall. It looked exactly the same as it had the first day he saw it. Massive, unchanging. His thousands of thrown stones hadn't made a dente. Werehust, Gone, swallowed by the grass on the other side. No one saw him do it. No one cared. What was the point of this silent, stubborn effort? He almost dropped the stone. He almost turned back for home, but he didn't. Something inside him, quieter than the voice of doubt, simply said, just for today. So he didn't throw the stone. Instead, he walked to the base of the wall, to a section where the stones had fallen. He bent down, and with both hands, he lifted one of the heavier, fallen stones. Grunting with the effort, he placed it back onto the wall. It settled into a vacant spot with a solid, satisfying thud. It was different. It was harder than throwing. It required all his strength. But he could see it. He could see the stone, right there, back where it belonged. The next day, he did the same. He didn't throw a stone over the wall. He placed one back upon it, and the day after that, his goal shifted. It was no longer about sending something over an impossible barrier. It was about repairing, about building. Months more passed. The pile of scattered stones at the base grew smaller and smaller. The hole in the wall closed, inch by slow inch. His arms grew stronger. His resolve hardened. And then, one evening, as the sun cast long, golden shadows across the field, he placed the last stone. The wall was complete. He stood there, breathing heavily. And for the first time, he didn't just look at the wall. He looked up the wall. He found a foothold, then another, and he started to climb. It wasn't easy, but it was possible now. The very work he had done to repair the wall had created the handholds he needed. He pulled himself to the top and sat there, his legs dangling over the side. And the view was not what he had expected. He had spent years imagining some great mystery on the other side. But the other side was just more field, the same grass, the same trees in the distance. The magic wasn't in what was on the other side. The magic was in the wall itself, or rather, in what the wall had demanded of him. He realized then that the wall had never been an obstacle meant to keep him out. It was a teacher. It taught him discipline on the days he didn't feel like showing up. It taught him patience when the results were invisible. It taught him how to listen to the quiet, persistent voice inside, and to ignore the loud, cynical one that demanded instant gratification. And most of all, it taught him that the greatest walls we face are rarely the ones made of stone. They are the ones made of our own doubt, our fear of the time it will take, our need for an immediate reward. And the only way to overcome them is not always with a dramatic, single effort. Sometimes it is with a single stone, placed again and again and again. The young man climbed down from the wall. He didn't need to come back to it tomorrow. His work was done. As he walked home across the field for the last time, he didn't look back at the wall. He looked ahead, toward the rest of his life. He knew there would be other walls, but he was no longer a boy who threw stones. He was a builder. So, what is your wall? Is it a skill you want to learn? A project you want to finish? A habit you want to build? We all have them. Don't just throw stones at it, hoping for a lucky throw. Go to it, day after day. Place your stone. Do Tikit hard work that nobody sees. Build. And one day, you will not only have overcome what stood before you, you will have built something stronger in its place. You. And that is the secret the wall had been holding all along. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more. I'll see you in the next one.